For my critical karaoke, I'd like to examine the show How to Get Away with Murder and the problematic stereotypes it perpetuates and the problematic nature of the show as a whole. The show on the surface looks quite diverse and looks to show light on minorities and members of the LGBTQ plus community. But once you start to look a little bit deeper, it falls flat with the characters and plays directly into pretty much every stereotype possible. The first of the characters I'd like to examine is Annalise Keating. She's the stereotype of the angry black woman to a textbook definition. She checks every box. She's very passionate and screams a lot at other people. She, at one point, hits one of her clients in the show. She's in a very dysfunctional relationship with her husband that ends up in violence and the inevitable murder of her husband. She's constantly having to play dirty in order to get to where she is in life. She's an alcoholic who can't stay sober even whenever her job is dependent upon it. She's a homewrecker, and she helps one of her other African American counterparts to cheat on his wife, who is in the hospital. At one point during the series, she's put in jail after her house is burnt down for literally zero evidence. There are parts of the series where she could be put into jail, not for those things, but she's put into jail with literally zero evidence. Whenever she's in jail, a large portion of the people that she meets are African American and of minorities.
You let one woman die in the street and another rot in the freezer. God knows you deserve worse.
But I hired you because you said you'd get me no jail time.
Burn this poor boy alive. Just think about the pain that he felt as he died, the agony of...
You want to know pain? I'll show you pain. Uncuff me. Look at my pain. Uncuff me. I'll show you pain. I'll show you pain. Uncuff me. Pain. Uncuff me. Look at my pain.
No deal.
The I'd like to examine is Wes Gibbons, who is played as an easy target for a lot of the crimes that are committed by the group. He also has a very broken past with his family, and this is very common throughout all of the African American characters that we have backstories for. Their families are quite problematic and have very broken relations with them, which perpetuates this idea, the stereotype of the broken African American family, where the dad isn't there, or is very violent towards his children. Many of the female characters in the series are seen as useless without the help of a man, unless it's Annalise, who is, like I said, just very aggressive and violent and the angry black woman of the series. But for the other main characters, they have to be constantly helped by men and constantly are seen as a liability without having a male character help them along. Frank is the next character I'd like to mention, who is an Italian hitman and is seen as kind of a white savior throughout the entire show, being able to kind of take all of the problems that are created by Annalise or the group and is having to constantly solve them or constantly cover up things that are actually done by Annalise or other members of the group who are usually of minorities. Finally, I'd like to mention that even though there are plenty of white characters throughout the series, that many of them are seen as much higher above a lot of the African American or minority characters, and also the minority characters tend to be the ones that are committing the more violent crimes and the ones that tend to be on trial for a lot of the crimes. Connor